Hello, beautiful souls. What if I were to tell you that abundance does not equal prosperity automatically? Nope, but it does equal free agency. What a ability to choose. Okay, you can see I'm super cozy today. I actually on this has been going live and being recorded on Black Friday, which is for those of you that are not in the US. It's a day after Thanksgiving in the US, where things go on sale. Yay! Well, Lydia is in town. She and I had an amazing time in spa, so I'm very relaxed and super excited to do the third and final session on quantum me activation of one of the four fundamental affirmations that we'll be activating in the next couple of weeks. That affirmation is I am alive and more abundant, based on John 10:10, where Christ says, I am come that they might have a life and that they might have it more abundantly. We talked about the power of I am. We talked about being alive. And today we're zooming in into a phrase, more abundant. I am alive and more abundant. So here's a fascinating thing. The law of abundance does not favor prosperity over lack. Abundance is absolute multiplication and presence of abundance of your choice of either prosperity or lack, meaning you can be abundantly miserable just as you can be abundantly happy. You can be abundantly angry as you can be abundantly peaceful. Abundance is the law of multiplication. Now, a few years ago, I think about 5 years ago now, possibly, maybe it was trying to remember whether I think it was probably pre-COVID even, so probably even longer. I had a podcast that was called All About the Voice. The premise of the podcast was to bring into awareness the power of divine voice so that you could align with it, take action with it, and it would lead to a life of abundance, as in genuine prosperity in all areas of your life. Well, the very first four sections of that podcast are little monologues where I talk about level one of being aware. So, first, you become aware of what you're aware of. You think about what you think about, because what you notice and how you notice is what and how you create. So, you first become aware. And guess what? What you're aware of is what you're aligned with. And how you are aware of aligns you either with the problem or with the solution. So we're not talking about denial. When you become aware of something happening, you can then align either with anger about it happening and inspiration about a solution to it happening. So what you align with will then drive you into action. Awareness, abundance, awareness, alignment, action. And when you take action consistently from the place of that aware alignment, you will start creating cycles of abundance, more and more abundantly. And you will either create cycles of abundant misery or abundant prosperity. And I use those words not just for money or for emotion, for every single area of your life. Really miraculously simple and empowering. And in that affirmation of more abundantly, when we look at what we want more abundantly, I am alive and more abundant. That is what we want to have more abundance of. More abundance of being fully alive, fully aligned, living from the place of complete surrender to love, living every moment from the place of asking yourself, what would love do? What is the most loving thing I'm capable of doing right now for me and for all involved? Right? Love is not about pleasing and enabling, because you can confuse love as patterns of pleasing and enabling and have more abundance of that. Or you can see love as healthy and whole and empowering for you and for those around you and have that more abundantly. So that is the activation. And I wanted to talk as a support for that of how to create a more abundant life is the Manifest Me journal. This is one of our very popular, probably most popular journals that we've had of all time. Manifest Me. If you go to meseries.love, you can just choose Manifest Me. Now I have to tell you, this is the very first journal that we published. So I'm not sure QR codes work. They need to be redone and republished. But the content is huge because it is in this very journal that for the first time, I wanted to show this to you. That for the very first time, there is a quote, I am come that they might have life and then they might have it more abundantly, from John 10:10. Because the whole purpose of manifestation is not creating something out of nothing, it is bringing into your awareness and alignment so that you could take action on receiving the abundance of manifestation. And so, what this little journal has, it has five basic laws of manifestation. Okay. And as you look at them in the beginning, it talks to you about five basic laws of manifestation. Oh, by the way, this is my journal. So, of course, it is. It's got things I'm manifesting. And then it is red. It corresponds to bringing the idea into materialization into this material world, which is the root chakra of the red color. So I would say for more abundant, this is an amazing product to support you on your journey. And for today, however, I would like to very gently and very powerfully invite you to close your eyes for a second. If you choose to put one hand on your heart and one hand on your solar plexus, I'm going to invite us to affirm 3 times, I am alive and more abundant. And with that more abundant, I'll be bringing to us an invitation, what we're grateful for, so that we can focus on that and have more of it in our lives. So let's take a beautiful breath in and out. And repeat after me. I am alive and more abundant. I am alive and more abundant. I am alive and more abundant. And if you would allow for me to witness and imagine, as you imagine at this very moment, that there is a beautiful outpouring of golden energy from your Creator being poured from above and into your energy, into your body. Energy of love, the creation of all prosperity and abundance. And that it expands and extends into your life. And as it expands and extends, allow for it to bring into your awareness faces of people who you're most grateful for. And then small and large things in your life, events, or even material possessions you're grateful for. Allow for this to continue. And with every one of them coming into your awareness, simply repeating, I am alive and more abundant. Continue through this cycle. Enjoy it thoroughly. And until I see you next week on Monday for our next beginning of a 7-step following activation, surrender to love.